Hey guys, so for today's video, I decided I was going to do some rhinestone placement practice because I am not the best at it. So I just wanted to kind of mess around with some rhinestones and see if I can work on like my rhinestone placement. So to start off, I'm just taking this color from Madam Glam. I believe it's Autumn Aura, and I'm going in and painting all of the nails with this. I do 2 coats of this and I cure each coat for 60 seconds. This color honestly doesn't need 2 coats, but I always just add 2 coats whenever painting nails. Well, it depends on the color, but like whenever I'm doing opaque colors, I do always do 2 coats just to make sure everything is completely covered, because sometimes you can miss like the edges if you're not paying attention, or like even sometimes when you're dragging the polish across the nail, it can end up thinner in some spots. So you just want to make sure that everything is covered, and the best way to do that is to apply 2 coats. But I absolutely love this color from Madam Glam. It is one of my absolute favorite colors from them. It is super pretty. It's like this peachy, orangey kind of nude color, and I just think it is a super pretty color. And I wish I would use it more, but also at the same time, I don't want to use it more because I just want to keep this bottle and just have this color forever. I mean, obviously I could buy more if I run out, but like, you know, sometimes you love a color so much and you don't want to use it because you love it so much and you don't want to run out of it, even though you can always buy more. But then it's also like, well, what if they end up discontinuing this color? And I don't want to use up all of this color if it does end up getting discontinued. I don't know if Madam Glam ever discontinues colors, but like if they do, I hope they never discontinue this one because I absolutely love this color. So for the rhinestones, I'm going to be using these neon rhinestones that I got from Amazon, I think it was. I'm also going to be using the condensed glue from Glitz Accessories and Such, as well as the matte top coat from Nails by Dev. And to do this, I'm going to take the rhinestone glue, apply that to the nail, and then go over top that with the top coat. And this is how I always do rhinestones and charms. I always do the rhinestone glue and then apply the matte top coat on top of the rhinestone glue, because I don't like having to try and go around all of the rhinestones and charms with the top coat and potentially accidentally getting top coat on my rhinestones or charms. And if you get top coat on rhinestones, it does make them look not necessarily weird, but like also kind of weird. It takes away the like rhinestone effect on them, if you will. It just kind of makes them look a little flat. Like if you're seeing on Instagram right now, encapsulating rhinestones is like a really big trend going on right now, and some of the rhinestones that are being encapsulated still hold that like rhinestone look, so you can still see the facets and like the cuts in the rhinestone, and you still get that rhinestone shimmery sparkle to them. But on some of the rhinestones that are getting encapsulated, when they do get encapsulated, you lose those facets and cuts, so it just looks super flat. It still does look pretty shiny, but it's not the same as if you were to just look at the rhinestone not being encased in something, like in these boxes, how you see them. So I mean, it depends on the kind of look you want to go for. Like if you want that flat kind of look with rhinestones, also with like the AB rhinestones or like crystal rhinestones, like the round ones, when you top coat them, they look more like those little bubble pearl things instead of a rhinestone. So again, like depending on the kind of look you're going for, maybe, you know, you're okay with top coating your rhinestones, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't like the way they look, and I think they don't look good when they're top coated. So yeah, I don't top coat rhinestones, and that is why I apply my top coat first before putting on the rhinestones, so I don't end up accidentally getting any top coat on them and messing up the way that they look. So after I get the rhinestone glue and top coat on, before I cure it, I just place the rhinestones down in whatever way I wanted to place them down. I usually, when I do rhinestones, I will like place them out on the side and like figure out how I want them to be on the side. But for this, for the practicing that I'm doing here, I kind of just wanted to go in with no plan. I didn't want to set them down or anything. I kind of just wanted to freestyle it and like go with the flow and try and figure out placement as I go instead of pre-planning it. Just because sometimes I feel like just going with it and like freestyling it is a lot quicker because you're just taking it, placing it down and whatever, versus when you pre-plan it, it can take a while because you're sitting there messing around trying to figure out like what you want to do and how you're going to do it, and you have so many different layouts laid down in front of you. I mean, you can do it either way. Like I said, usually that's what I do, is like I plan it out before, but it does take me forever to try and figure out like how I want the rhinestones to lay. So I do want to practice more just like picking up rhinestones and like placing them out down on the nail and like figuring it out that way and having it look good that way. So that's what I'm doing here. Just picking up rhinestones, placing them down, seeing like kind of trying to visualize in my mind how certain rhinestones are going to look next to each other and like the different shapes here and how they're going to look on the nail. And you know, placing down what I think is going to look good and hope that it does look good. Some of these setups or like the placements that I did, I don't really care for, but I just went with it to see like, you know, how this was going to look in the end. I didn't take anything off. I didn't restart any of the placements. Like I just went with the flow and kind of tried to see like what works, what doesn't. I know, I just feel like practicing like this really helps you to like get better, even if it doesn't look good. Like now you know that, well, doing this kind of layout doesn't look all that great, so now I know not to do that and try something else the next time, you know. So I just like to practice sometimes with my rhinestone placements, testing out different things. Like I've done rhinestone placement practice before with like my AB rhinestones. I want to say I did some other colored ones before, but I have been really wanting to use these neon ones that I have. They've just been sitting in a drawer and I haven't used them yet, so I'm like, oh, I'll try out with these because they are a little bit different. They're all different colors, and sometimes that can be hard when you have so many different colors to like put something together that like looks good with so many different colors. So I did just want to kind of practice with these, see what it was like. There's also so many different shapes. I got to see, you know, like what shapes look good together, like how do they look when they're next to each other, how can I place them on the nail and all of that. So, you know, just kind of having fun with it, doing whatever I felt like in the moment. Like I said, there was no rhyme or reason to why I was doing anything. I was just picking up rhinestones, placing them down, hoping that it looked good in the end. Some of them looked alright, some of them didn't look alright, like this nail in particular I really don't like. Actually, it kind of, if you flip it the other way, it ends up kind of looking like a flower, which is kind of cute, but also I just don't like it. Like, I don't know, this whole placement in general, I just wasn't really feeling, and I didn't really like it either. But as you can see, when I'm doing these, because they are different colors, I didn't want two of the same colored rhinestones sitting next to each other. So I was being very mindful of that, and like making sure whatever rhinestone I picked up wasn't going to be the same color, that like the two rhinestones next to each other weren't going to be the same color. That was kind of really the only like thing that I was being mindful of when doing this. The rest of it, I like wasn't really thinking too hard about it or anything. I was just, like I said, picking them up, placing them down, and hoping it ended up looking good in the end. But after I got all the rhinestones on the nail, I would stick it in the lamp and cure it for a full 60 seconds to make sure everything was completely cured. because the Nails by Dev matte top coat is a wipe off top coat, I'm just taking and wiping all of the nails down with some alcohol to get the matte effect with the top coat. And because I couldn't really get in some of those little like crevices between some of the rhinestones, or like get super close next to the rhinestones, I did take a little like cleanup brush and dip it in alcohol, and then scrub that in there to remove the shininess in between like the rhinestones and like right up next to the rhinestones, so there wasn't still that little shiny bit there. And this is the finished result. Like I said, some of these setups or like placements I do really like, some I don't. I think my favorites would have to be the pinky and the pointer. Like the rest of them are all right, but those two are definitely my favorites. And I really like how the colorful rhinestones look up against this like nude color. I think it's really pretty, just because they like the colors of the rhinestones really pop. They would look really good on a white background too. I'm interested to see what they would look like on a black, because sometimes neon colors look really good on black as well. So I kind of want to do this again, but like, or use these again, but like on a black background, because I feel like that would look really cool too. But like I said, I really love how they look on this nude background. And this was really fun to do. I know they like don't go together and they're like so different from each other, and it's not really a cohesive set, but also I wasn't really trying to make it cohesive either. I was just practicing and seeing like what kind of placements I could come up with, and if I really liked any of them to like use for future sets. I really love how they look out in the sun. Like the neon colors of them just pop so much. I mean, the colors pop under flash and like in normal lighting too, but outside in the sun is just when they look the absolute best. I think for practicing, I did a pretty okay job. Like I said, there are a couple here that I really like, but there are a couple that I'm not a huge fan of. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.